Thank you for viewing this innovation vlog brought to you by the Prosecutors Center for Excellence. My name is Sophia Roach, and I'm joined by Jeff Reisig, who has been the elected District Attorney of Yolo County since 2007. In that time, DA Reisig has implemented many innovative programs in his office, and he's here today to talk to us about Yolo's unique approach to resentencing. First off, DA Reisig, can you tell us a little bit about your jurisdiction?
Sure. Well, Yolo County is in Northern California. We're kind of sandwiched in between San Francisco to the west and Sacramento to the east. We're about 250,000 people. We have about 35 deputy DAs, prosecutors in my office. And we're a real kind of even combination of farmland and cities. And politically, we're, a pretty, I'd say for California, we're maybe in the middle, a little bit, leaning to the blue side.
Now, about this resentencing program, tell us a little bit about resentencing in California and then an overview of your clinical internship program.
Sure. So in 2018, California legislature passed a new law that allows prosecutors to initiate resentencing reviews on individuals that they believe merit a second look. We've never had that tool before. And so we decided in Yolo County, we were one of the early adopters, maybe one of the very first counties, 58 counties in California. We decided we were going to start using this law. And we really needed help. And what I mean by that is it's a labor-intensive process to dig into the prison records and the history on these individuals. And despite having, a fairly robust staff in my office, I just simply couldn't do it without some outside help. And so working with For the People, which is a nonprofit group that is totally focused on this law, we developed a partnership with the law school at the University of California, Davis. And basically what we did is we reached out to some of the professors in the criminal law track there and told them about the work that we were going to be doing and whether they would be interested in starting a clinic with us to provide law students who would do a lot of the legwork.
And so what was the reception like?
It was really positive. I mean, first of all, this is a program designed to give prisoners a second look. And so, the bottom line is many of the law schools tend to focus more on the defense side. And in my experience anyway, many of the law students tend to be more oriented towards that work. And so having this opportunity presented to them was very well received. They were excited to get the chance to actually work on real cases. All of the cases originated from Yolo County. And these are many times very serious cases. These aren't, misdemeanors or low-level crimes. These are serious crimes that they're helping us take a second look at.
Can you tell us a little bit about how students are selected for this program or whether or not they can just opt in by taking a class?
So the selection process is totally controlled by UC Davis Law School. And they are, the way I understand it, is they sign up for the clinic. They have a conversation with the professor who oversees the clinic, and then the selections are made. And so we've now had this clinic going for our second full year. And the response from the students has been overwhelmingly positive, and they want to take this clinic. This is something that really gets them into the field in a meaningful way. So it's been a home run for all of us.
And talk to us a little bit about case selection. How is that overseen?
The DA controls the case selection. What we do is we, on a regular basis, are reviewing cases of people who have been sentenced to prison out of Yolo County and trying to make a determination whether there is some reason why we should take a second look at that sentence now. And it could be because the sentence at the time was very long, but under today's standards, it would not have been deemed appropriate. It could be because we get information that the individual has been rehabilitating very well, and that there may be other mitigating factors that we believe warrant a second look. So those are the factors that, just a few of the factors we're using internally. We select the cases and then we provide them to the students at UC Davis Law School to start the background research, reviewing the prison records, reviewing the historical information on the individual, and they work closely with that individual's defense attorney to get access to much of that information.
So instead of having to run them through some type of confidentiality process through the DA's office, they can actually get access to these documents through the defense themselves.
That's right. And the defense is a critical partner in this program because it is their involvement that facilitates the access to the prisoner and all of their information. They essentially, the defense attorney, gets the waivers, gets the prison record waivers, any kind of background information. They help facilitate providing all that information to the clinic and ultimately to me.
Now, tell us a little bit about some of the safeguards or processes you have in place once a student has worked up a case and is asking the DA's office to consider resentencing.
Well, the first thing, at least from my perspective, is we don't pursue resentencings unless the victims agree, unless they're on board with the process. And so we always have a conversation with victims of crime about why we're looking at this inmate and what their position is on whether or not we should even consider a resentencing. So that's the very first safeguard. And I think it's a critical one, at least from my perspective. I would not engage in resentencing if the victim didn't agree. And so the students are aware of that. And that's number one. The second thing is, at the end of the day, it's the DA's decision whether or not we pursue a resentencing. Now, the judge ultimately has the total discretion whether to grant a resentencing hearing or to grant a resentencing petition, but only the DA can actually bring it. And so many times the students do their workups and they know that the buck stops with the DA's office and that we, not a lot, but occasionally just say no, even though the victim agrees, we're not comfortable moving forward with this individual for other reasons.
Now, it's my understanding that the students actually give your prosecutors who are in charge of kind of the screening process a presentation on each of the cases they work up. Is that right?
That's right. And we just had one a few days ago where we had about a dozen students from the law school come to my office, and we met in a conference room, and one by one, teams of 3 went through the cases that they had been assigned to look at. And so they're very well prepared. It's very professional, thorough. We subject them to rigorous Socratic discussion and debate, and it's the real deal. I mean, the information they're providing it's real, it's serious. There's nothing academic about the process. It's very real.
Now, once you have decided to move forward with a resentencing petition and request that of the court, who would handle the hearing, the actual hearing itself?
Well, that's, one of the great things with this clinic is we're allowing the students to go in and handle the hearings as long as they're certified law student. They can do so under the supervision of one of my senior attorneys. And that's what we've been doing. And it's just another rare opportunity for law students to be involved in high stakes issues under the supervision of a deputy DA.
I would imagine it also exposes some law students to aspects of prosecution that they may never have considered.
100%. I mean, one of the things that really has been interesting for me to watch is many of the students come into this process with a view of the criminal justice system. As I said, many are leaning towards the defense, and they don't really appreciate a lot of the issues around victims and victims' rights and victims' issues and the injury and harm to victims, nor do they truly appreciate the public safety risks that some of these individuals pose. And so that's where a lot of the discussion and the debate gets hot, is when we're talking about those issues and helping them understand there's always more to the story than just what the defendant has revealed.
And tell us, are there any other key benefits of this program that you'd like to share with other prosecutors who might be considering a similar partnership?
The biggest benefit to this program is just the relationship building that it has allowed us to do with our local law school and law students in the legal community, and the fact that it has really inspired many of those law students to want to come back and volunteer or intern with my office on other issues just because of the experience they had in the clinic. And that's been really powerful. We need the help. We need lawyers in the future who want to be prosecutors. And so we feel like we're building a bullpen of future prosecutors.
And how has the community responded?
It's been great in our community. I mean, this is a process that we take very seriously. We're meticulous. We're very methodical in how we approach these. And when we do make a decision to pursue a resentencing, we make sure we're engaging the community in that through our outreach and media. And we've had overwhelmingly positive responses to it. And again, just reiterate, the victims agree with the cases where we ask the court to resentence. And so this has overall been just a very positive thing for our community and our criminal justice partners.
Seems like it also really reflects kind of YOLO's mission towards transparency. I mean, I know you have other transparency features such as an improved dashboard and things of that nature, but this seems to kind of line up with that as well, kind of letting people see your internal processes.
I agree. I mean, I'm a big believer that the government's work should be public and they need to know what we're doing and what the results are. And so this whole process of bringing people into this decision-making from the law school, making sure the public is engaged in following the work through our outreach and social media and traditional media is a real important part of what we do.
So any takeaways, any advice or a lesson learned that you want to pass on to somebody considering a similar program?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're a prosecutor, an elected prosecutor anywhere in the country who's thinking about starting one of these and you have a law school anywhere near your office, I'd say reach out to them. And I'd be shocked if they wouldn't jump at the opportunity to set up a clinic with your office like mine to do work like this. It's just so valuable. And I think it's a unique opportunity for law students to really see a side of the criminal justice system that they typically don't get to see through a normal academic study in law school.
Well, I would like to thank you for sharing this innovation with us and also thank our viewers. If you would like to share an innovation, please contact PCE directly at contactpce@pceinc.org. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.